Any more numbers? I'll just pull up the P&L.
Well, we've got the consolidated, which is out. So let's take you through that. Consolidated profit is coming at 942, and this would compare with 719, I think.
Yeah, it needs to be compared on a Q-on-Q basis.
So 516.
Yeah, it needs to be compared on a Q-on-Q basis because year on year, I think it's still the Kotak numbers which they've reported. So Q-on-Q should also be a good comparison for them. So 942 crores compares to 517 crores Q-on-Q. So that too, we had estimates. Just one estimate with regards to the consolidated numbers, and that was around 855 crores. So that too has come in above the Barclays estimate that we had. So it's not a bad figure which is coming for the consolidated net profit as well as the standalone net profit for them.
Let me run you through the asset quality. On a consolidated basis, gross NPA is at 2.08, while the net NPA is coming at 0.93. So both of them have largely been maintained.
Or the
no, these are consolidated asset quality numbers.
So 2.08, which compares to 2.04% on a Q-on-Q basis. So that's a marginal movement this time round. So it seems as though they've maintained their gross NPLs on a standalone basis. We'll wait by. And remember that the standalone basis is the standalone operations is basically the pure banking operations that we are recording for Kotak as well as ING, which is merged together, whereas the consolidated business includes all the other subsidiaries.
So you want me to give you standalone?
Flat on a Q-on-Q basis as well. So 0.93% is where the net NPA is coming at. So that too is a thumbs up, and you can see the stock moving up because ING's gross NPA book was quite high as of last quarter as per analysts. So the street was really fearing any sort of internal slippage with regards to the gross NPA as well as the net NPA ratio. So what we can see from Kotak is that they've delivered in terms of gross NPA, they've delivered in terms of net NPA, and their profit estimates both on the consolidated as well as the standalone estimates has met the street expectations. I think it's a good set of numbers.
All right, let's get in then a market expert or an analyst on that. We have Hemendra Hazare who joins in currently. Hi Hemendra, thanks so much for joining in. Asset quality not looking too bad. In fact, the stock has reacted favorably. What's your take on it?
On the face of it, the results appear to have surpassed analyst expectations. And, that is to be expected because Kotak Bank is one of the better managed in the private sector space. However, the only caveat is I think we have to wait for the analyst conference call because we've noticed in the previous banks which have reported results, there have been some negative surprises which were not immediately visible when these banks reported their numbers. In terms of asset quality, in terms of sales to ARCs or the 5x25 scheme that some of these banks have reported. But on the face of it, yes, it appears to have exceeded analyst expectations.
Yeah, we just have the details with regards to the consolidated NII as well. That's coming at around 2,278 crores, and this compares to 2,163 crores that they did in the previous quarter. I just want to highlight year-on-year comparison is not adequate for Kotak right now because it does not contain the ING numbers on a year-on-year basis, but it does contain it on a Q-on-Q basis. So that's the right comparison. So the NII is 2,278 crores, which compares to 2,163.5 crores that they did in the previous quarter. So that too is a positive, which is coming on the NII front. It's maybe marginally below Barclays' estimate of around 2,330 crores, but overall it looks like it's a good set of numbers. I'm just pulling up the presentation because that's where they have most of the details as well. Net interest margins on a standalone basis have come in at 4.3%. So that is maintained above 4%. So that's a positive which has come in. Then we will come back to the asset quality in just a bit. But just the stressed book. They have said that the bad bank, which was formed in Q1 FY16 under the experienced reconstruction team, most of the stressed assets are being managed by this team. At Q1 FY16, they estimated additional provision of 0.5% of the combined book for balance 3 quarters. The impact on Q2 FY16 results of 238 crores versus 305 crores in Q1, of which a significant portion is from the ING book. Q2 FY16, and this is important, includes a reversal income of 62 crores on account of a credit event with regards to a derivative customer. Okay, so that's okay. Other merger related costs, integration costs of 12 crores in Q2 FY16. 63 crores for Q1 FY16 and 54 crores for FY15. So those are a couple of more details which have come in. Need to figure out what their status is on sale of loans to asset reconstruction companies, as well as the other in terms of on asset quality. But Hemendra, from what I've read out to you, your sense?
It appears that Q2 has, operationally has been quite strong because they've taken some extra charges and yet shown this type of profit. So it appears that Q2 has been, I think, stronger than what the numbers initially have been reported.
Okay, let me give you the details of the asset quality. It's important. The restructured loans considered standard stand at 403 crore, 0.4%, of which 256 crore is from the EIVBL portfolio.
That's the ING book.
Yes. In this quarter, no CDR participation, no transfer to ARC, no conversion to off-balance sheet, no 5/25 loans, and no rectification. So that's the important clarification.
So there you have it. So you have those internals which have come for Kotak. No CDR participation, which they've reported for multiple quarters now. No sale of loans to asset reconstruction companies, which they've reported for multiple quarters. And the no 5/25. Also, the NII has come in on a standalone basis, which is your pure banking operation. 1679 crores is where the NII on a standalone basis is come in. That's quite in line with what Bank of America Merrill Lynch was estimating at 1662 crores, and Motilal stood at 1645 crores. So largely within that range is what it's come in at. What's really helped the street, helped the stock performance is really, I think, the asset quality and the fears that no ING's book has not resulted in some severe type of movement in the gross NPLs. Hemendra, am I right?
Yes, I think because the analysts were very rightly concerned that there could have been a lot of asset contamination from ING Vysya. And typically all this surfaces only when they have a merger. See, while it is standalone, we have found, history has shown us that these things don't surface. So I think it appears that they've been able to manage the ING book quite well so far.
Gaurang, what is your thoughts on the performance, on the asset quality?
Well, my concern was equally as explained, with the merger. The last quarter, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, there were certain adjustments that the bank had to do. So comparatively, this quarter, both in terms of net interest income, gross NPS, net NPS, and of course, in terms of no loan going into the ARC book, definitely stands positive. So it's prudent on my part to give a disclosure that we have a positive coverage at Kotak Bank from a long-term point of view.
Okay. Do you think that this, in fact, could, in terms of valuations, Kotak could now move up and possibly see incremental upside for the rest of the year?
So I think there was concern because of the merger. Yes, there were concerns in terms of asset quality of ING Vysya, and of course, it possibly translated into some more provisioning post the merger, but that has not happened. A detailed con call from the management will definitely throw in more light. And then not to forget, Kotak Mahindra Bank from the private sector mid-cap bank has been one of the underperformers. So my sense is that post these numbers, yes, there could be possibility of this stock getting re-rated.
Okay, and quickly, Hemendra, last word from you on in terms of how you read the entire performance by Kotak.
I think overall it seems to be a very robust performance because I think the other private sector banks which have reported have somewhat disappointed the street. So it appears that, with Kotak sterling results, you may see the share now moving upwards, because that seems to be the safe haven in the private banking space.
Okay. All right. Fair enough, Hemendra, as well as Gaurang, for joining in and taking us through the Kotak Mahindra Bank numbers, which definitely has been a good performance this time. The stock, as you can see, is now spiking up around 4%. That's because there hasn't been any sort of negative surprise which has come in on the asset quality post the ING merger. This is the second quarter that they've reported numbers with ING, and there hasn't been any sort of negative surprise there. Additionally, the NII and the profit is largely in line with what the street was working with.
All right, Ekta, thanks so much for joining and giving us all those details. We have sent